development dun sa or latest update sa ating social amelioration program. As of April 15, 2020, the DSWD already forged 1,387 Memorandum of Agreements on SAP or the Social Amelioration Program with various cities and municipalities. So a total of 1,228 LGUs were already provided with funds amounting to 65 billion pesos. If the total amount for the Social Amelioration Program for the various LGUs is 80.9 billion pesos, then this 65 billion pesos already given to the LGUs accounts for more than 80% already downloaded. A total of 236,331 low-income, non-4-piece families received their emergency cash assistance equivalent to 1.3 billion pesos. Now, in addition to the emergency subsidy program, the DSWD has also catered to 14,096 clients for COVID-related concerns tulad ng medical assistance and or burial assistance in the amount of 67,530,340 pesos and 48 centavos through the regular assistance to individuals in crisis situations. The DSWD has further distributed a total of 400,201 family food packs to various LGUs in the regions amounting to 156,116,899 pesos and 49 centavos. Balikan na naman natin ang IATF Resolution number 24. Ang mga sumusunod ang mga kasunduan at nilalaman ng resolution na ito. Letter A. Foreign cruise ships carrying Filipino crew shall be allowed to dock in ports in Manila and to be used as quarantine facility for said Filipino crew members, subject to the guidelines to be issued by the member agencies of the sub-task group for the repatriation of overseas Filipino workers, pursuant to their respective mandates. Further, the foreign crew on board aforesaid foreign cruise ships shall be allowed to disembark in Manila for the sole purpose of taking outbound flights to their final destination abroad, as previously allowed pursuant to Interagency Task Force Resolution number 15 Series of 2020, provided such foreign crew have also completed the 14-day mandatory quarantine upon disembarkation. Ang mga foreign cruise ship na may dalang mga Pilipinong crew members ay papayagang dumaong sa mga pantalan sa Maynila at magamit bilang quarantine facility nila, alinsunod sa patakaran ng Sub-Task Group for the Repatriation of Overseas Filipino Workers. Ang mga foreign crew members na kasama nila ay papayagang umuwi sa kanilang mga bansa basta matapos din nila ang mandatory 14-day quarantine dito. Letter B. Pursuant to the directive of the President, the Department of Health, in coordination with its Technical Advisory Group, is directed to finalize guidelines for the supplementary utilization of FDA-approved rapid antibody test kits. Ang DOH kasama ang kanyang Technical Advisory Group ay inaatasan na isapinal na ang mga patakaran sa paggamit ng rapid antibody test kits na aprobado ng FDA. Letter C. The following recommendations of the Department of Agriculture are adopted. Number 1. The government shall pursue the optimum level of harvesting activities and planting operations with the support of the National Irrigation Administration, as well as the pre-positioning of agricultural inputs for early planting. The Department of the Interior and local government shall advise LGUs to actively partner with the regional field offices of the Department of Agriculture for the operational planning and implementation of various programs and projects of the agency. Number 3, food value chain logistics shall be improved. And number 4, the Cash for Work program in agriculture shall be explored. Aprobado na rin po ang mga sumusunod na rekomendasyon ng DA. Una, itutuloy po ang pag-aani sa tulong ng NIA at ayusin din po ang pag-preposition ng agricultural inputs para makaani ng maaga. Kalawa, ang DILG ay inaatasang abisuhan ang mga LGU para makipag-ugnayan sa mga regional office ng DA para sa mga pagpaplano ng mga proyektong pang-agrikultura. Pangatlo, ayusin at paigtingin ang food value chain logistics at pang-apat, aralin ang Cash for Work in Agriculture program ng Department of Agriculture. Letter D. The IATF approves the recommendation of the National Economic and Development Authority, NEDA, to pursue supply chain regulatory impact assessments and to develop the Supply Chain Analysis or SCAN dashboard in cooperation with partner agencies and select private entities. The outputs of the regulatory impact assessments shall be referred to the IATF as a whole or any of its member agencies, and the outputs of the SCAN dashboard shall be referred to the National Task Force COVID-19 for its consideration. Aprobado na rin po ang rekomendasyon ng NEDA na gumamit ng Supply Chain Regulatory Impact Assessments at bumuo ng Supply Chain Analysis or SCAN dashboard sa tulong ng ibang ahensya at pribadong sektor. Ang produkto ng Regulatory Impact Assessments ay ibibigay sa IATF o sa ahensya ng kanyang miyembro, habang ang produkto ng SCAN dashboard ay bibigay sa National Task Force COVID-19 para sa pagsusuri nila. Letter E. The updated nomenclature in classifying individuals for the surveillance and management of the COVID-19 health event is adopted. Patients under investigation with mild, severe, or critical symptoms whose results have not yet been released shall be designated as suspect cases. PUIs with inconclusive test results shall be classified as probable cases. Persons under monitoring shall still be referred to as PUMs and shall still be reported and managed accordingly. Gagamitin na po natin ang mga bagong terminolohiya para sa pagklasipika ng mga individual na pinagsususpetsiyahang may COVID-19 o kumpirmadong COVID-19. Ang dating tinatawag na mga patients under investigation or PUI na may banayad o malubhang sintomas na di pa nilalabas ang resulta ng kanilang mga test ay tatawaging suspect cases. Ang mga PUIs na hindi pa tiyak ay tatawaging probable cases. Ang PUI na may test results na hindi pa tiyak ay tatawaging probable cases. Ang mga taong tinatawag na natin dati na persons under monitoring ay tatawaging PUM pa rin. The Department of Energy shall form part of the expanded membership of the Interagency Task Force. Isinasama na po ang Department of Energy sa expanded membership ng IATF. Bago po natin i-wrap up ang briefing ngayong umaga, may ilang update lang po tayo. Nadagdagan na po ang bilang ng mga laboratoryong sertipikado na pwedeng magbigay ng COVID-19 test. meron na po tayong 16 laboratories na kayang mag-conduct ng real-time RT-PCR for COVID-19 ayon sa Department of Health. Bukod po dito, binabalita or ibinalita ng Philippine Coast Guard na sinimulan na po ang paggamit ng 2 barko bilang quarantine facility. The PCG kicked off the operations of the quarantine ships by welcoming 90 repatriated Filipino seafarers from South Korea, Indonesia, and Qatar last Tuesday. After being screened, the seafarers were provided with individual room accommodations where they shall complete the 14-day quarantine period. Yung iba na may nauna ng hotel bookings na inayos ng OWA ay mananatili sa nasabing mga hotel para sa kanilang 14-day quarantine matapos magsagawa ng medical profiling ang PCG medical teams. Ngayon, base sa huling tala ng DOH, may 230 na bagong kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa, for a total of 5,453 confirmed COVID-19 cases. The disease claimed 14 more lives yesterday, bringing the total to 349 fatalities. Ibinalita na rin po ng DOH na kahapon, 58 po ang nakarecover na sa COVID-19. Kaya as of yesterday, 153 total recoveries. Hinuli ko po ang mga bilang na ito para idiin na napakaseryoso po ng outbreak na ito. Itong sakit na ito. Habang tumatagal ang ECQ, human nature po na isipin na nagiging okay na ang lahat. Natural na maging kampante. Ngunit habang may mga kababayan tayo na nahahawa at namamatay dahil sa sakit na ito, habang may mga medical health workers na nagbubuwis ng buhay para labanan ang outbreak na ito, hindi tayo pwede maging kampante. We must stay the course. Kailangan tuloy-tuloy ang pag-iingat, ang paghugas ng kamay, at ang striktong pagsunod sa physical distancing at patakaran ng ECQ. When we stay home and practice social distancing, we save lives. Kaya bahay muna, buhay muna. Together we can beat COVID-19. Together, with the mercy and grace of God, we will heal as one. Maraming salamat po. Sasagutin ko na po ang mga katanungan mula sa ating mga kaibigan sa media. From Ace Romero, the number of recoveries outnumbered deaths yesterday. What are the implications of this, if there are any? Can this be construed as an indication that the curve is flattening? Why or why not? How will this affect the decision on whether to lift or prolong the Luzon lockdown? Sa palagay ko po, yung mabilis na medical interventions natin ay isa sa mga paraan kung paano natin maiwasan ang fatalities and paano natin ma-improve ang recoveries. So the more tests and the more extensive yung mga testing natin will become, we have to expect certain things, no? Gaya ng sinabi ko before, yung testing capacity natin, habang lumalawak yan, dadami yung bilang na maging positive. So habang dumadami yung bilang ng positive, syempre, pag tinitingnan mo ang numero, mababahala ka na parami ng parami. Pero on the other hand, pag agad nalaman natin na positive, agad-agad natin malalaman ano yung the best medical intervention natin para dun sa biktima na yon. So pag nag-positive, isolate agad natin, treat agad natin, no? The number 2 advantage niyan is mahihiwalay na agad natin and ma-isolate na agad natin mula sa general population. So hindi na magkaroon ng paghahawa yung mga malapit sa kanya within the vicinity. So yun po yung advantage. Kaya the more extensive ang testing natin, kasi ngayon 16 laboratories and then there are more in the pipeline, no, to come. Then mas matetest natin, ma-detect natin, ma-isolate natin, ma-treat agad natin. But syempre ang tinitingnan natin ng ngayon ng numero is yung recoveries, no. Prevention of death and then more recoveries. That's number 1. Number 2, may nakikita rin kaming well, although it's too early to tell, no. Pero may slide na binigay sa IATF kahapon nung nagre-report mula sa RITM at sa mga labs natin. Dati kasi, sabi namin, 17 to 18% ang nagiging positive out of the number of tests, no? So kung ganito karami ang tinetest natin, 17 to 18% yan positive. But there was a slide that was presented to us yesterday na from 17 to 18% na sanay na kami doon, naging 15%. So it may be also a function of more testing. So the bigger syempre yung number of people being tested, then baka yung naging positive bumababa na rin. But it's too early to tell. Pero ang importante dito is we need to test more so that we can detect more, isolate them, and then treat them. Will this decision affect yung decision whether or not to lift or prolong the Luzon lockdown? I think it also has to do, it will be a factor, no? Kasi syempre, ang tinitingnan nating factor is how, in terms of our health capacity factor, how quick we are able to detect, isolate, and treat. So certainly, that is something that we will also be looking at when we consider yung ano mangyayari after April 30. From Sherry Ann Torres, ABS-CBN, may mga local officials pa rin pong nagre-require sa kanilang mga constituents na makipagkasundo munang hatiin ang cash aid o hindi bibigyan ng social amelioration card form. Ano po ang gagawing sanction sa kanila ng national government? Alam naman ng mga LGUs kung anong pinirmahan nilang MOA, no? At gaya ng sinabi ko dati, ang magiging complication lamang dyan is number 1, magkakaroon ng validation, syempre, ang DSWD. Over and above that, ang COA will also be doing an audit, no? And then, gaya ng sinabi rin namin na nasa MOA rin po na if hindi qualified yung beneficiary, then kailangan i-refund yung pera na ibinigay doon. Saan pwede maghain ng reklamo ang mga kababayan natin nakakaranas ng ganito at paano ang proseso ng paghahain ng reklamo? Pwede po sa DSWD mismo, sa mga regional offices kung may reklamo, dahil meron naman silang grievance mechanism. Or there are other avenues also, no? Hotline 8888. Ilang barangays o areas na po ang nabibigyan ng cash aid ngayon ng DSWD? Hanggang kailan ang latest na dapat i-release ng DSWD ang social amelioration card? Gaya ng sinabi ko, 80% na po ng mga LGUs ang nabigyan na ng pondo mula sa DSWD. So that's 65 billion already given to various LGUs, and the total amount, no, that we're looking at is 80.9 billion pesos. So that represents a little over 80% na po ng LGUs have already been given the funds. So now, based on the rules, they have to immediately disburse the fund and distribute that to the various constituents po nila. Tapos kasama doon sa pagbibigay, yung pagbigay ng social amelioration card. Tapos, syempre, dalawang portions yun. Yung isang portion, ikikip ng family after filling it up. Yung kabilang portion, ibibigay dun sa LGU for encoding, tapos ibibigay dun sa DSWD. And then after that, immediately after that, magkakaroon ng validation ang DSWD dun sa pamamahagi ng pondo. Although, dun sa distribution mismo, meron ding presence ng DSWD, PNP, AFP, at iba pa. From Maricel Halili, TV5, anong assistance ang pwedeng ibigay sa mga nasa ibang lugar na naipit sa lockdown? May construction workers po kasi ang nawalan ng trabaho dahil inabutan sila ng lockdown sa Batangas. Pero dahil taga-QC sila, hindi sila isinama sa listahan ng barangay for the amelioration program of DSWD. Okay. So, gaya ng sinabi po namin before, meron tayong appeals process, di ba? At sinabi rin ni Pangulo, ang latest directive niya, binagit na rin niya sa TV, is that hanapin kayong mga LGU at kapitan, hanapin ninyo yung mga dapat mabigyan at hindi nabigyan. So, I would take that to mean na kasama itong mga na-stranded. Because if you look at the social amelioration na memorandum, kasama rin po dito sa circular na to, yung kahit yung mga stranded ay dapat isasama dyan. So, in other words, they're qualified to receive the social amelioration from the government. Kaya, kung maaring yung mga LGUs, isama nyo itong mga construction workers na nawalan ng trabaho at naipit, inabutan ng lockdown. The President's directive to PNP HPG is to make sure that all passengers of private vehicles are part of APOR. Okay. I mean to say, ang pwede lang lumabas is yung exempted, no? What if an APOR doesn't know how to drive? Will they still be allowed to be fetched by a driver not included in the list of APOR? Particular details na kasi ito eh. So, siguro pag may ganitong mga particulars, then they must go to they must go back to the agency that gave them the APOR in the first place, or yung accreditation, no, in the first place. So these are particular cases na lang. From Tina Mendez of Philstar, the President recently approved the procurement of some 3.3 billion worth of rapid testing and RT-PCR based kits, no? So dalawa yan, no? PCR pati yung rapid test. In relation to this, has IATF also approved the recommendation of the NTF for creation of a special task group that will spearhead the massive testing of suspected COVID-19 positive individuals? Hindi namin pinag-usapan to sa IATF because kung ano man ang policies na inilalatag naman ng IATF, ang implementer dyan yung National Task Force, no? So whatever policies that we come out with, the implementation will be through the National Task Force, no? So, and then they just report na lang yung sa IATF yung kanilang accomplishments, no? Based dun sa guidelines and policies na ibinigay ng IATF, no? So, in terms of implementation, kay Secretary Galvez na lang. Sa ilalim ng NTF, ang lahat po ng results generated ng rapid antibody-based test kits will be subjected to RT-PCR confirmatory test as strongly recommended by DOH? Yes. So even yung discussions namin kahapon, that was sa IATF meeting, that was still something that was emphasized, no? Yung rapid test kit, kailangan pa rin ng confirmatory. Number one. But the good thing about the rapid test kits din pala, as explained to us by the epidemiologists, is it also can be used to confirm kung yung pasyente who is being treated ng COVID-19 is already cleared to go, no? So pinag-aaralan ngayon ng DOH na mari kunyari pasyente ka, tapos tinitreat ka na sa hospital, tapos gumaling ka na, di ba? Tapos nung gumaling ka na, syempre before ka i-discharge ng hospital para umuwi ka na sa tahanan mo, bahay mo, dahil ano ka na cleared ka na kumbaga magaling ka na. So ang usual protocol po natin is magpa-swab ka. So magpa-swab ka at idaan na naman sa laboratory for the PCR test, no? Yung lab-based testing natin. Ngayon, sabi ng mga epidemiologists, pag ganon, pwede rin natin pag-aralan na hindi na lang magpa-swab, gamitin na lang yung rapid test. Kasi yung sa rapid test kit, pag lumabas ka doon na positive ka sa IgG, mean to say, naka-build up ka na ng antibodies mo against COVID-19, then cleared to go ka na. Kasi cured ka na, tapos naka-build up ka na ng antibodies mo sa IgG test, kaya cleared to go ka na. So para hindi ka na pipila ulit sa lab-based test na kung saan marami pa tayong mga PUIs, mga PUMs, at mga pasyente na sinaswab din dun sa lab-based. So that would remove some pressure dun sa lab-based kung pwede na lang na ang clearance mechanism natin for patients is through the rapid test kits. So kaya ang binasa ko na resolution ng IATF na isapinal na, i-finalize na nila ang guidelines on how to use those rapid test kits under our present medical protocols. So yun, isa yun sa uses ng ating rapid test kits. But yes, to answer the question, meron pa ring confirmatory test kahit nagpa-rapid test ka na. Sorry, nawala ako. Okay. Hindi po ba mag-overlap ang plano ng NTF sa ilalim ni Secretary Galvez sa pagsasagawa din ng expanded testing ng DOH na PCR-based at sa mga initiatives ng mga LGUs? Hindi siya mag-overlap because we are now, dahil sa utos ni Pangulo, ipapasok na namin yung rapid test kits dun sa current health protocols nating, particularly sa testing. So pag na-finalize na po yan, then we will cascade to everybody. The National Task Force will implement based on the guidelines. Yung LGUs din will implement based on those guidelines. So hindi magkakaroon ng overlap. Please clarify again the use of rapid pass. Ito yung sa DICT, no? How many rapid pass applications have been approved so far since its implementation this week? How come the PNP is not honoring the IATF accreditation issued to media? Because the policy strictly requires members of the press to present rapid pass barcode at checkpoints. It should not be a problem, no, itong media and the rapid pass, because that has already been coordinated, no? Lahat ng ginagawa ng DICT at DOST at yung gumawa ng rapid pass has already been coordinated with the PNP. So it shouldn't be a problem. With regard to the details ng rapid pass in terms of how many applications, etc., uh, I would refer you to the DICT for the updates on that. Yung sa Rapid Pass lamang, syempre nag-identify kasi sila ng mga tao sa different agencies, yung officials from the different agencies, to be the one to approve, no? So yun lang naman na naging concern dun sa sa pag-operate ng Rapid Pass, yung the different agencies concerned approving kung sino yung mga applicants for Rapid Pass. But otherwise, it's all systems go. From Joyce Balancio of DZMM, may mga local officials pa rin pong nagre-require. Okay, tapos na tayo dyan. Tapos na tayo dun. From Kathy Valente of Manila Times, kailangan po namin ang tulong niyo. Taga Palawan po ako, bayan ng San Vicente. Bukas po kasi ang bigayan sa amin ng 5,000 na ayuda ni Presidente. Marami po ang mga naka-fill up ng form. Ngayon po, dumating na ang yung list ng makakatanggap. Marami po yung wala sa listahan. Ang problema pa po doon, may mga kagawad na nakasama. Ano po ang pwedeng gawin? Mag-file po tayo ng reklamo sa DSWD or sa DILG. So, para maimbestigahan po ito. Kasi kailangan syempre ng complainant para maumpisa ng investigation dito. Makakaasa po kayo na kasama naman ito sa proseso, whether or not may complainant, kasama sa proseso ng DSWD yung validation. Pero mas maigi po kung may complainant para ma-investigate talaga natin. Sa totoo lang po, karamihan dito sa amin, sa liblib po kami, sityo lang po kami. Kung makikita nyo po kami, kahit kayo po ang magsabi na karapat-dapat po kami. Salamat po. Okay. Kaya nga sinabi ni Pangulo, di ba, yung kanyang utos, sa mga LGU, pati sa mga kapitan, hanapin ninyo yung mga dapat bigyan. At kung nakaligtaan at hindi nabigyan, pakisabi sa DSWD dahil inatasan niya po ang DSWD at DILG na makipag-ugnayan din sa mga LGUs para kung sino man yung mga nakaligtaan ay ma-document ng pamahalaan para hanapan natin ng solusyon. From Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN, may mga exemptions bang ibibigay ang IATF for motorists to travel kung hindi sila kasali sa listahan ng mga authorized persons outside residence? Halimbawa, yung magpapa-check up who will seek medical treatment in a hospital located in another city or my personal emergency situations. Kung naalala nyo po, the IATF already issued, previously sa one of our IATF resolutions that for humanitarian reasons, DOH can give exceptions. Paano yung gustong mamili in a bigger supermarket, grocery, pharmacy in another city? Kasi mas maraming mabibili doon or doon lang available ang kailangang bilhin. Wag na lang po kasi kung ganyan lang din, wag na lang. Kasi kung mamimili lang, dahil mamimili ka ng gusto mo, kaya gusto mong pumunta sa ibang syudad o ibang lugar, kung mahanap naman dun sa city mo or sa lugar mo, dun na lang. Wag na lang tayong picky, kumbaga. When in case of doubt, wag na lang. you have to understand the situation na lang. Ganun na. Intindi na natin yung sitwasyon. Okay, ngayon naghihigpit na po tayo. Dinala na po ng PNP ang HPG unit nila, yung Highway Patrol Group. Meron ng joint forces ngayon ng PNP and AFP. Yung parang joint task force or joint team nila for quarantine. Dinadala na po ang lahat ng mga ibang law enforcement agencies to the front lines para bantayan po ang ating mga kalsada, highway, public spaces. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, naghihigpit na po talaga tayo ngayon kasi ito ang napag-usapan na rin namin sa IATF kagabi. Nasa medyo going to the malapit ng April 30 eh, 'di ba? It's already what? April 16. So ano na lang, let's just so naghihigpit na tayo. Let's just ano na lang, tuloy-tuloy na lang natin kasi kung lahat ng sakripisyo na ginawa natin, simula na nung pag-umpisa nito, no? And it's been more than a month already. Tapos dun ka pa sa parang ang point dun is so nagsakripisyo ng lahat, di ba? For how many weeks? More than a month na. And then we're down to our parang kumbaga ang tawag pa nga nila last stretch. Tapos dun pa tayo sa last stretch naging, complacent. Tapos dumami yung mga pasaway. Tapos so kung gawin natin yon, lahat, ano yung point nung lahat ng ito na ginawa na natin, na inumpisahan na natin? 'Di ba? That's the point there. Na kung lahat ng sinakripisyo natin, mababaliwala lang dahil naghahanap tayo ng paraan para makalabas. Dahil, dun sa ibang lugar kasi yung paborito kong ganito or yung paborito kong ganyan. Or sawa na ako sa mga nabibili ko dito. It just destroys everything, di ba? Parang, so, marami naman nagko-comply. Pero, napansin din, syempre, kahit ni Pangulo, na marami ng mga pasaway. So, wala tayong choice, kundi maghigpit tayo lalo. So, that's why I'm saying, when in doubt, wag na lang. Pahabol from Tina Mendez of Philstar. The Chinese media reported that the Chinese medical team who visited the country found that the Philippines is in a significant risk, quote, in a significant risk of not being able to cut off source of infection, end of quote. They observed the limited bed capacity and lack of enough PPEs. Any comment? Well, personally, I cannot comment because I was not part of the team who accompanied the Chinese medical team for them to observe, what's happening here in the Philippines. And so I think I must defer the question to the Department of Health, particularly the officials who were advised by the Chinese medical team. From Arian Meres of ABS-CBN Online. May reminder po ang DSWD kahapon against unauthorized public solicitation for charitable purposes. Ibig sabihin po ba nito, ang mga fundraising ng pribadong individual para sa mahirap ay kailangan pa i-coordinate sa DSWD? I'm not aware. So perhaps seek clarification from DSWD, but this was not discussed sa IATF. So sa DSWD na lang siguro magpa-clarify. From Joyce Balancio, DZMM, pahabol po also. 1. Ano talaga ang programa para sa mga senior citizens? Well, number 1, sa senior citizens, for senior citizens who are not receiving monthly pensions, they must be included sa social amelioration program. Yun. And then we also have senior citizens, indigent senior citizens who are receiving social pension from government. So kasama rin sila sa ating social amelioration. Number 2, directive sa LGU officials na na-overlook ang welfare ng senior citizens. This DILG is supposed to be the one to supervise, oversee, and even exercise oversight sa mga LGUs, di ba? So kung may mga na-overlook na welfare ng citizens at kung ito'y labag sa any of the laws for the protection of the senior citizens, then DILG will act immediately. Ilan na ang na-assist na senior citizens, especially yung mga living alone? DSWD would probably have the data for this, no? Because and we have a new body on the senior citizens also. So, but in the meantime, pagdating kasi sa senior citizens, it's DSWD who will take care of them, particularly yung mga indigent natin senior citizens. From Joseph Morong, GMA7, what happens if the curve is not flattened before or on April 30? Is the IATF looking at selective lifting, maybe per city lifting of quarantine? Ganito yan, no? Yung small group na inatasan ni Pangulong Duterte to look at the data and to already plan what will happen sa April 30. They're the ones that are currently gathering all of the data and data analytics. No? So we discussed this a bit nung IATF meeting kahapon. And ang promise ng grupo is by Monday, meaning next Monday, this coming Monday, next week, they will have something to present na to the IATF. So, hintayin na lang natin. But they're looking at all aspects, no? Tinitingnan lahat ng aspects. Like I said, may 5 parameters yan, no? So, they're looking at the epidemiological curve, acceleration, deceleration. They'll look at the health aspects. Yung sinasabi ko kanina na dapat titingnan mo yung capacity natin to test, to isolate, to treat, and then in terms of treatment, yung bed capacity natin, and yung health workers natin, in terms of health workers, in terms of facilities natin, no? And then yung social aspect, economic aspect, and then the security aspect. So all of those 5 parameters will be taken into consideration. So yung sinasabi ni Joseph Morong na yung sa flattening of the curve, that's one part of one aspect out of 5. So all of that and the data needed to make decisions on that is now being collated, gathered, and then put together, and then that's the assignment of that group this week. So this whole week, wala sila ibang gagawin kundi tingnan ang lahat ng mga numero. And then by Monday, they'll have something to present to the IATF. Ngayon, will we make a decision come Monday? Not yet. Because by Monday, next week, that's their presentation. So, syempre, pag present nila yan, I anticipate a lot of discussions. Diba? But at the very least, pag present nila yan, makikita na natin talaga yung kumbaga yung running total or the running figures as of Monday, taking into consideration all of these 5 parameters. And then that will guide us all the way for next week. And then at one point, we will present that to the President. Diba? Because by next week, dapat meron na talaga tayong mapresenta kay Pangulo kasi the week after that yun na yung week after, yun na yung week ng April 30, di ba? So, yun ang timeline. From Jen Kabiling, Manila Bulletin, is the government alarmed the Philippines has the highest number of COVID cases in Southeast Asia? What best practices shared by neighbors have the government taken into consideration to contain the outbreak? Will you consider the Chinese medical expert suggestion on establishing Fankang Hospital and improving virus detection capacity? Yung sa Chinese medical experts, I won't comment muna on that. No? Let's let the DOH comment on that. Because again, I have no personal knowledge. But are we alarmed? Ganito, yung number of cases ng COVID-19 sa Pilipinas is a function, we believe, is a function of the expansion of our testing capacity, capability, and implementation. If tingnan mo lang yung math, sabihin natin 17 to 18% of those undergoing testing come out positive. So, necessarily, pag in-expand natin yung testing, pag dinamihan natin yung test natin, i-calculate mo lang, what is 17% of the number of tests that we're conducting? Kung aabot tayo ng 40,000 tests, i-multiply mo ng 17%. Kung aabot tayo ng 50,000 tests, i-multiply mo ng 17%. But like I said, may nakita nga kaming graph na naging 15% na. So, it can also be a function na the more we expand, bababa din yung number of positives. Kasi in-expand mo na yung testing mo eh. But again, that's inconclusive. May nakita lang kami, nag-dip ah. But again, that's inconclusive. Anyway, for argument's sake, sabihin natin, we stick, it settles talaga at a 17% level. So, the more you expand, the more tests we conduct, kung maging 50,000 or 60,000 tests na yan, i-multiply mo ng 17%, yan yung number of possible COVID-19. No? Let's just make these assumptions. Okay. So, dapat, what is the good thing that will come out of that? Ma-detect agad natin, ma-isolate agad natin, at mabigyan agad natin ng health intervention, the proper health intervention. That way, we can increase the numbers of recoveries and decrease the number of deaths. Okay? Now, that is just based on assumption if you do linear assumption. Pero, there is also a chance na it might not be that linear. Maybe there's a chance na from 17% maging 16, 15, 14, the more you expand. But ito yung laging pinupukpok ni Secretary Galvez. Let's test, test, test. Okay? So, to answer the question, we must not be so alarmed na if you're seeing, of course, you'll be alarmed, but you don't get disheartened if ang nakikita mo is, dumadami tayo. Mas malaki na tayo sa Malaysia o tayo na pinakamalaki sa ASEAN. If naman, ang kapalit niyan is agad natin na-isolate, agad natin tinitreat, and agad natin napaparecover. Okay? Kasi some scientists, epidemiologists will say na we haven't seen hindi pa natin na-detect ang lahat ng mga COVID-19 carriers or possible carriers. Diba? Kaya, nandun pa rin yung sinasabi na dapat mas aggressive tayo sa testing. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's why the President said, ipasok na natin yung rapid test kit na yan. Let's increase our laboratories who can give those PCR lab-based tests so that we can get a clearer picture. That's number one. Number two, hindi naman ito contest among ASEAN nations. Diba? Hindi naman ito contest na pakuntian ng number. Hindi Hindi ganyan. And that's also something that was not discussed dun sa ASEAN Summit. Ang best practices pa rin is exactly what we're doing. In fact, if there's something that we learned dun sa summit namin sa ASEAN, pati yung ASEAN Plus 3, is that what we are doing here in the Philippines is also something that they are doing also in their respective countries. Yung quarantine or lockdown or sinasabi, yung travel restrictions, ganun din ginagawa nila. Yung testing, ganun din. And then yung treatment. And number 5, we're all waiting for a vaccine. In fact, sabi ng isang country na ang short-term goal natin to medium-term goal natin is treatment. Yan ang focus. And in fact, sabi ng isang country, that's what we're trying to focus on now. Treatment. What is the medicine? What is the treatment that we can give to our patients? Because the vaccine will take a year to develop. Yan ang kanilang projection. It will take a year for somebody to develop. Of course, the world is now, it's a race to find the vaccine. But just to manage everybody's expectations, sabi nila na it might take a year, baka 2021 pa yan, vaccine. So, the medium-term goal should be to look for what is the best medicine, medical intervention, treatment that we can provide. Kaya kita ninyo, kahit si Pangulong Duterte, number 1, pumayag na siya na ang Pilipinas makasama dun sa clinical trials ng Avigan. Number 2, even before that, the President, the Department of Health, and the IATF supported na the Philippines will also be part of the clinical trials ng WHO. Clinical trials for treatment. So, ito po yung ginagawa natin sa Pilipinas, ginagawa din po sa ibang bansa, sa ASEAN. So, that just gave us even more determination. And, in fact, it reinforced sa amin at kay Pangulo na we are doing exactly what we should be doing. Yung testing, di ba? Yung treatment, lahat po yan, it's shared eh. And then, sabi nila na, so we now have a mechanism na we're sharing best practices, we're sharing the information of what everybody else is doing. But also, we share the same challenges. Yung challenges in terms of PPEs, they're also feeling that. Ganon din ang nila. Yung kakulangan ng PPEs, yung health facilities, and even supply chain. Yung pinoproblema natin na yung supply chain natin within our country, yung unhampered flow of goods and cargo, that's also something that they're feeling. But taking it one level up, ang agreement din sa ASEAN is that we also have to think about way forward. What are we gonna do with our trade? What are we gonna do with people-to-people exchanges? Diba? What will we do with exchange of goods? And how are we gonna create a more resilient ASEAN after this is all over? So, yun. Kaya ang agreement is dapat tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang pag-uusap ng ating mga finance ministers, economic ministers, and our foreign affairs ministers. Partido Manggagawa said the 50 billion subsidy for MSMEs workers won't be sufficient. Will the government consider the proposed 10,000 wage subsidy for all formal workers? I mean, we can take a look at the proposal, but what has already been approved is the 5,000 to 8,000. And like I said, again, we cannot be bogged down by going back na naman to the drawing board and thinking about these things. Kung ano ang meron na tayo, let's just implement it. And then, saka na lang natin isipin yung additional, if ever. How soon will the Japan-led clinical trials of Avigan start in the country? Department of Health na lang po and DFA should be the one to answer the question. What other potential drugs for COVID treatment are being considered by the government? DOH na po ang sasagot. From Henry Uri, DZRH, dahil sa tigas ng ulo ng marami, hindi sumususap na manatili lang sa bahay. May mga nagmumungkahi na pairalin na lamang ang martial law, lalo na sa Metro Manila. Ano po ang pananaw dito ng IATF? Hindi ba ito na pag-uusapan sa mga task force meeting? Hindi po. Kasi martial law, for you to use or declare martial law, ano po yun? Rebellion, no? And invasion. So, hindi po pinag-uusapan. From Belia Cariaso of Bandera. Paas na lang yung clarification sa panghuhuli sa kalsada ng mga unauthorized vehicles. May mga nagtatanong paano daw yung involved sa relief efforts at yung sa mga gasoline stations. Wala sila sa list na inilabas ng MMDA. Pag gasoline stations kasi, that's sa energy eh. So it's supposed to be DOE ang mabibigay ng authorization or DTI. So, ang alam ko kasi nabigyan na yan mga yan ng ng accreditation passes. So that's not supposed to be a problem. Yung sa panghuli sa kalsada ng mga unauthorized vehicles, that's already being implemented. MMDA po ang tanungin natin dyan because they've actually sent out sa social media, ng mga social media cards. They've actually announced to the public already. So even if you go browse through Facebook, you'll see those social media cards na nilabas ng PNP, ng DILG, ng MMDA, even ng PCOO. Makikita mo naman dyan kung sino yung allowed and not allowed. And the IATF has already been issuing statements, no, and resolutions with regard to that. So I think that's the last. So sa ating mga kababayan, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikipagtulungan, sa inyong pamahalaan. Gaya ng sabi namin lagi, bahay muna, buhay muna. Kayo po ang first line of defense. Sa ating mga kasama sa pagpapalaganap ng tama at napapanahong impormasyon sa iba't ibang mga media outlets sa TV, radyo, dyaryo at online na hook up po sa atin ngayon. Maraming salamat po. Mga kababayan, ito na yung we are on the week after Holy Week. We have this week, we have next week, and then the week after that, yan na po yung April 30. By next week, meron na pong ipepresent sa amin sa IATF ng maliit na grupo na inatasan ni Pangulo para tingnan anong mangyari sa April 30. So pinag-uusapan na po namin yan. Pag-uusapan po namin next week at maging masinsinan at malalim na pag-uusapan ang mga bagong do's and don'ts. Ganun na lang. After April 30. So, ang mensahe ko na naman po is, after April 30, we will try to set up new guidelines for the new normal. No? All things being considered, kung maganda ang makita natin within the next how many days? 14 days. So, kailangan po talaga natin ng kooperasyon ng bawat isa to make the decision easier for us. The more na may mga pasaway, the more it becomes difficult to make the decision. Di po ba? Because, syempre, lahat naman tayo gustong, gusto nang pumunta dun sa new normal. Pero syempre, yung decision points po namin ng inyong pamahalaan, ng inyong gobyerno, will be based also on the attitude and the conduct ng lahat ng ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na sa Luzon, lalong-lalo na sa NCR. So, in the words of Secretary Anyo, nasa last stretch na tayo. Konting sacrifice na lang. Sipin na lang natin yun. So, yun po yung pakiusap natin sa lahat. Pero, ganun pa man, asahan nyo na maghihigpit ang pamahalaan, ang DILG, MMDA dito sa at ang inyong mga LGU, maghihigpit na. Kasi we don't want to waste all of our sacrifice, yung common nating sacrifice. At magiging unfair naman din po ito dun sa mga sumusunod. So we have to impose this order, we have to be strict about it. Kasi sa totoo lang, mas marami naman yung nagko-comply kesa sa pasaway. At hindi po magiging patas. It won't be fair to them who have been following orders. Kung may ilan na talagang ayaw sumunod. Pero sa mga ayaw sumunod, sa gusto nyo at ayaw ninyo, we will impose the law. Kaya, yun na naman po. Maraming salamat sa mga lahat ng mga sumusuporta at nagko-cooperate sa inyong pamahalaan at sa inyong gobyerno. And pakiusap na ko na lang din po, if you can help government, police your own ranks, police your own community, at sabihan niyo yung mga pasaway na wag na. Na malaking tulong na rin yun para sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat. God bless. Amping kanunay, maayong buntag, daghang salamat. God bless.